humble beginning started in 2011 in Hyderabad. After spent about 15 years in US, me and Rekha quit our job, moved to Hyderabad, set up a base here, and there were relentless focus on building the product, being profitable, being able to find good go-to-market strategy. And one of the things we sort of did very different compared to a lot of startup today that we see is we never chase investors. What we chase is the customer. So our philosophy was slightly different, non-dilutive. If we can make company customer funded or bootstrapped, that was one of the very early motive we had when we started this customers. And fortunately, you can plan a lot of things, it may not work out. For us, it did work out to great extent where for almost 10 plus years, we did not raise any money from outside investors, and we continue to grow our product customer base pretty rapid pace. And beauty of that growth is since it's a SaaS product company, we didn't have to scale up. With the growth, we didn't have to hire hundreds of people, and unlike a lot of even the public company you see today go public with massive amount of losses and still people are jumping in. We were slightly different in that sense. We continue to build the profitable product. Everything is built in Hyderabad, sold US and other parts of the world. And obviously some of this functionality being sold in India as well today. So the fund we raised was, we were super excited to get a lot of investors interested as early as 7-8 years back. Actually, we started getting a lot of inbound investor interest. Our focus was initially, again, not to get distracted. We never entertained any investors. And at this point, we have gone to the growth trajectory where more than money, we needed the growth partner to grow next phase of our journey. And that growth part is pretty amazing. Year over year, we are growing, adding 50,000 new customers. And we needed partners beyond just the co-founders and our good set of employees in Hyderabad and US. That's when we decided to take money to grow business and take it to the next level. We have a pretty, clear roadmap what we want to do with this fund. We want to increase our headcount to 200 plus in Hyderabad alone, and then also build product capabilities for additional markets and adjacencies. Obviously, when COVID happened, pretty much like all of us were confused. What's going to happen to the business, customer revenue? Very early on, 6, 7, 8 months, things were scary for everyone, not just us, but all of you sitting there probably were in the same boat. What we did at that time is we started putting a lot of our focus on product innovation. So our other product that you see that is doing extremely well is called Compliancely. That product we built right at the middle of COVID season, and we signed up one of the US's largest credit card processor, and we are doing over 1 million transactions a month around fintech space for them. So what we did is during this adverse time, we used that sort of fear to work in our favor by building a couple of products. We built a few more products that did not click, but this one product, within 3 months, we started getting tremendous amount of customer attention, and anything to do with neo-banking, fintech, credit card, banks, all risk mitigation around fintech space is handled by our product Compliancely. So having said that, we raised this money, we built the product bootstrap, and next phase of growth is growing team in India and taking product a little bit more into new markets and building a couple of more adjacencies around our existing offering. That will help us exponentially grow the company to the next level. Count is about 80, 60 employees in Hyderabad, 20 in US. We are looking to go 200 plus in next 12 months. As everyone already know or may be aware of, the biggest challenge of growth today is the manpower, right? Not just in technology, hard to find Uber drivers, hard to find Ola drivers. And without people. We all talk about automation and everything else. How fast we are able to get people will also, that is going to be our innovation center. Large chunk of our employees going to be here. US is majority sales marketing efforts. The market we are addressing is today North America, Europe, India, and with this particular global customer who has presence in India, ours is a SaaS product. So we are in India as well right now. So new market, we expanded to Europe very recently. We are now serving about 18 European countries. And that's again was part of our expansion, part of this fund that we got. So we were getting a lot of interest from company in Europe and even in Asia and India. So thought was we wanted to go US, Europe, Asia, India, APAC region. So those are the market we already have early presence. I wouldn't say deep presence, early presence. So differentiated in growth, it's a very interesting question, which I missed out in your first answer that I did. So the growth is, COVID, we benefited from COVID, a lot of digital adoption. So we basically cater to a lot around fintech, governance and risk compliance, and regulatory technologies, right? So as COVID happened, a lot of these companies started adopting more and more digital. So to give you an idea, in Indian context and US context comparison, so Zomato, all the drivers that you see today, right, they are not an employee, they're independent contractors. This model basically came from US, right? They call it gig economy. And gig economy concept all started in India and other countries have trickle down approach. So Uber started it with gig economy, what they call it. Basically, people are installing app on their phone, they're bringing their own car, and there is a very thin line between employee and contractor. So what Uber did is leverage that thin line and build a multi-billion-dollar business leveraging gig economy. Same thing we are seeing in India now. Our software is one of the fastest growing than space that helps comply all gig economy worker today. So be it food delivery, truck driver, the moment they get hired, there are series of due diligence one need to perform. Our software is a platform from onboarding these gig economy workers, verifying who they are. First question is, what's their tax ID, equivalent to your Aadhaar and PAN. We have an API that does this verification less than 20 seconds. Even in India today, Aadhaar verification, you get the OTP and this and that. Theirs, we do it seamlessly for any person opens new bank account, any person opens a credit card account to accept payment online. So we address almost every industry that exists today. That is your gig economy. Anytime any payment happens to a supplier, to contractor, all those verification, risk mitigation, our software does. So our software could potentially power over 10 to 20 billion transactions. That's how big the market is today for our product. A very small company. Logistics is always a challenge. So even to arrange all those things, like I said, we are only 80 employees. We always believe in not just going 5,000 employees and 5,000 crore losses. We believe in 80 employees, probably $200 million profit kind of business model. So not having enough resources to do that, and that's the reason we got a little bit delayed. Late, but still we did it with whatever resources we had available. So turnover is, we are a privately held company. So turnover and valuation is something we don't talk about publicly. Yeah, so definitely the biggest utilization of fund is going to go around hiring, building more products, and sales and marketing efforts in new geographies. Those are the three areas that most of the funds will be deployed. Absolutely. So just to give you an idea, during COVID time, I said we launched this second product, which has a massive success. We call it Compliancely. Name itself says Compliancely. It's to do with the compliance. So this product, to give you length and breadth of growth we are seeing with this product is, we launched in US. During COVID time, you cannot go to bank, but people have to still bank. So almost all banks started accepting credit card, online banking application, loan application. But there is tremendous amount of risk around that. And what we did is our product fits into a fintech product, core banking product or credit card product. And suppose you apply to open a bank account with HDFC or ICICI or any other bank. The moment you provide Aadhaar, PAN, everything, We do comprehensive 14 different checks through this product, which is terrorist watch list, whether the person is politically exposed people. I mean, these are checks and balances US has set up for the banking transaction. So our software automated that thing. When we build that, these same customer have operation in Europe, Asia, India. They started saying, hey, when are you building European capability? So a lot of fund gone into building European capability. So existing product expansion is one area where the compliance stick will become the global KYC, KYB product for all kind of industries today, we name it. So we build 18 European countries. We are launching about 40 by end of the year. India, we launched with the same customer where we are doing a lot of digital account onboarding for them. And then other than this product, what we want to do is we are building our platform. We are calling it tax operating system, which is going to automate practically most of the indirect business taxes in the US. That's where most of the investment. Third one is going to go into creating a lot of API first capabilities, because what we are seeing is a lot of large gig economies coming into our platform. They are absolutely API cutting edge technologies, and they don't like UI, UX, the way you build it. Yes, we are looking for both organic and inorganic growth as well. So inorganic growth is where we will look for some complementing add-on acquisitions wherever we find this capability, be it India, anywhere. It's just we are very open to that. We have, as you all can understand, fundraising is itself, it consumes you completely. So we are just coming out of that mode, and next phase is kind of hiring, and then parallelly we will explore acquisitions, but nothing actively going on right now.
Solving these problems?
Yes. So GST is something that's one of the area we continue to very closely monitor and track. We do have roadmap for GST as well in India, not immediate, but GST is one area, not just GST. So once you do GST, you can do VAT in Europe, which is very similar to GST. So our goal is definitely to have part of this expansion plan is to address the GST automation. So one thing you talked about is the mismatch. So when you remember when GST started, there were a lot of chaos. People didn't have software. People used to do manual upload. There were a lot of audits. It's maturing, and we have about team of 6 that continue to research on the GST space that we want to get into. So that's something that's of our interest. And as it develops, we will disclose more information how we want to tackle that part of the market. So, like I said, 200. So 80 plus 120, 200. That's about, within a year, our goal is to reach about 200 employees in Hyderabad alone. If we are finding difficulty, it's a very, very competitive market for talent, Hyderabad, right? I mean, the way Bangalore was competitive, Hyderabad became attractive. Now we are seeing other parts of India. So, and plus a lot of remote workers. So, but when it's a 200, first preference is people working in Hyderabad office. Second preference, if you're finding talent remotely anywhere in India, we would be open to hire that.
And what's the time frame
within a year? I mean, this already started. So we have added probably from the news publisher now probably 8 new hires. We are looking to continue to add that practically on a daily basis. We are interviewing people there. India is our very new market. We just started India. We just started Europe with the new funding. India, we have 3 very large global customers that we are catering in India. Revenue split is largely is US based at this point. India is largely building the product. Revenues mostly come from the US currently. Yeah, we need definitely office space. That's the positive part. There are a lot of office spaces are available at attractive rate. And yes, so we are looking to expand and get a bigger facility within Hyderabad to expand the team. We would definitely need it. The current facility can't have more than 100, 120 employees. So we need to look for, and which parallelly we are looking as well. US, which is one office, and Hyderabad second office. We're not looking to set up new offices. It may be satellite sales office in Europe, let's say, if business becomes quite attractive. But talents are mostly going to be based in India, majority, and the second one would be US. So I can name some of the partners. We work with the world's largest accounting system called Intuit QuickBooks. So they have presence in India. So we are exclusive partner to them for last about 7-8 years. So in mid-market, a lot of our partners, if you look it up, they are very, very large, established companies. That was one of our early product differentiators. While a lot of our competitors were focused on silo, standalone product, we believed in API integration. So Intuit is our partner. There's another publicly listed company called Bill.com. Recently, they're valued about $15 billion. We are exclusive partners. Customers, I'll tell you segment. 7 out of top 10 accounting firms are our customers. We have about almost all large public university in California as our customers. We have several Fortune 100 companies our customer. Few largest gig economies our customer. World's biggest credit card companies are customers. As a company, we never position ourselves as an enterprise or mid-market or small business. Our product caters to all sizes. The way we have grown our business, majority inbound traffic that comes to our website. So that's not the small company, but we are able to grow very rapidly with a lot of very different approach. Rather than having a lot of outbound, we created some of those strategies to get inbound customers. So customers spans from practically some cryptocurrency customers in US. We help them comply actually with tax regulations. Insurance company, healthcare company, accounts payable, gig economy, pretty much any sector you take. We have a particular product that help with Obamacare Healthcare Act regulation reporting actually, which is growing very rapidly. So pretty much any area you touch, which involves payment or accounts payable, we fit in accounting, regulatory, insurance. So the product Tax 1099 look like one product, but inside we comply with 40 different federal regulation and 50 different states. So it's massive. It's like thousands of different subset of tax jurisdiction and rule that we simplify for our customer through software. So it's in terms of our customer base, law firms, accounting firms, all of those have some sort of relationship with us. It's not a choice, it's a necessary for us to do that because suppose we have a credit card company and you're an e-commerce store, you accept payment online and you would have to issue a tax form to this e-commerce store. Then what happens is, then the same e-commerce store have vendors or suppliers. They have to make payments to them. Now they have to issue forms to them. So once we acquire one customer, we may have multiple touch points where we make revenue. So even if the vertical wise it will look like it's an e-commerce, but then now we go back to accounts payable, which we count the accounting team is using our product. So once we are inside the company, acquisition happens of the customer, then 3-4 different stages we do the transaction. So focus has always been to grow 1099 via a lot of innovations, and ultimate underlying message is reducing risk for the businesses. So these businesses, if they make single mistake, there are $200 penalty for each mistake, and some of these businesses do transaction $500,000. And our data engine makes sure the data is clean before it goes to the tax authorities. All those things are happening. So focus is always there in product. So even with our profitability, we never thought, okay, let's invest money in a food technology company or acquire a food technology company or e-commerce company. Consistently, we have invested in growing and finding adjacency, which is literally next to our product. We didn't find, okay, somebody is making a lot of money in selling fast food. Let's invest there. So we remain very, very focused, and still we are very focused. We are one of those media shy companies. We stay in the corner, work, and nobody knows us. So would like you guys to give us good coverage so we can get some really good talent in Hyderabad and grow our business and meet again to talk about our next phase of growth. So we were listed in 25 entrepreneurs in Hyderabad book and a couple of other things, but really we never had any media interaction outside. Most of these were like small team, every day come work, grow business, relentless focus on profitability and growth.